Thank you.
Yeah, you know we got it mixed up. We're supposed to be on live now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. So Phil, how's your day been?
Well, it's really early in the morning, so I haven't got a lot done. But I've listened to music, had the shower, did a bit of journaling, and read a little bit. So it's just kicking off for me.
Awesome. You're welcome to Leadership Talk with Adegoke. The podcast is adding value to so many lives globally, and I'm so privileged to have you on this edition of Leadership and Selling. This is actually the 60th podcast for Leadership Talk with Adegoke, and I'm so pleased to have you on the platform. Now, tell us who is Phil? Who is Phil Joyce?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm a guy that's on a journey to make a difference in my life, and in those I get to connect with, whether they're entrepreneurs, salespeople, business owners, business leaders in a corporation. And I've had the pleasure of working with athletes as well, and in terms of not selling so much, but helping them in their leadership side of things, from young to the university level, student athletes.
Okay. Awesome. So apart from athletes, in your leadership journey, I know you also speak to the business community. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm part of a franchise, Focal Point, and it's powered by Brian Tracy. I've been involved with them for 14 years. And prior to that, I've been in the Dale Carnegie world. I worked with the Pacific Institute. Everything that I have done over the years is been around leadership and predominantly selling. Because if you can't communicate your ideas effectively, which is selling, nothing gets done.
Wow. Amazing. Good stuff. Now, what is leadership to you? What is leadership?
Leadership, well, if you follow my purpose, it's breathing spirit into the minds of the people I serve. So to me, that's leadership.
Wow.
It's inspiring people to live to their full potential.
Wow.
On a regular basis, right?
Wow. Awesome. I have with me on the platform, I have a fellow John Maxwell team coach, speaker, and trainer. Her name is Abiola Shoremekun. She's joining us from the city of Lagos, Nigeria, and she's saying hello, Phil. She's welcoming you to the platform.
That's very
amazing.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Now, whereabouts in Canada are you based?
I'm in Western Canada. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. In 1988, we had the Winter Olympics.
Wow, amazing. Did you feature in the Olympics? Were you on any of the platforms?
Yeah, I was at lots of platforms, watching and enjoying. They're magnificent.
Amazing. That's very kind of you. Now, Phil, tell us. I'm just so intrigued by selling. We're here to sell. I mean, both of us, we're showing up, and we have people watching us from all over the world. You are far away in Canada. Is this 7 hours behind? I'm also in Africa speaking. What is selling, really? What is selling?
Well, to me, in a really simple way to describe it, it would be it's the transference of enthusiasm. So,
enthusiasm, did they say?
Yeah, if you take the last 4 letters of enthusiasm, what are they? Do you know what they are? IASM.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the last 4 letters of enthusiasm.
IASM, yeah.
Which stands for I am sold myself. So the first sale has to be in the person that's
I am sold
myself.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Right? So it's transferring that energy and excitement and passion you have for the service, the product, the world leadership view. Like look at some of the famous leaders. Who was the fellow in South Africa that changed the world? And there was the apartheid, right?
Yeah, Is it Mandela?
Yeah, he was sold. He had a vision, and he was selling people on the idea of following him.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King in the U.S., Gandhi in India, all of them were selling their idea. They all had a passion and they transferred their enthusiasm. Enthusiasm often gets a bad rap. Many people see it as being the raw, let's go guy, right? I guess that's a form of enthusiasm, but a quiet, calm, assertive energy, that's enthusiasm as well, isn't it?
Wow, yeah, that's right.
So that's kind of where I'm more on that last guy, not the raw guy.
Wow. That's, this your definitions are just out of the textbook. They're not really like the textbook stuff of, you want to sell, you find a need and, fill the gap. You're telling us that it's tied around enthusiasm. You can't give what you don't have, Yeah, it has to come from within. Is that correct?
Yeah, and if you follow Napoleon Hill's writings, there's a lot of principles in there about leadership, and he talks about it as a sexual transmutation energy.
Wow.
So not talking about the creation of another being, but he's talking about that same life force energy and putting it into creating something. Just like you're doing this show, you're putting that kind of energy into having the show 68 times.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a good validation coming from my friend Phil, all the way in Canada. Now, what's the relationship between leadership and selling?
I think it's like they dovetail.
Okay.
Right? Because sellers are leaders. They're solving people's problems. Like, to me, a professional seller, a professional salesperson is somebody who identifies a problem, a need, an issue, and provides a solution. So Brian Tracy talks about being a doctor of selling. So proper diagnostic procedures turns into the ability to do proper prescribing solutions. Because if you don't do those, then in the medical field, you're at risk of malpractice. In the sales field, if you could be sued, I suppose, but also in a less harsh sort of ways, if you're not paying attention and listening to what people's issues are, and if you're not providing with a solution that's to their benefit, they're not going to buy from you. So essentially, it's like malpractice.
Wow. Right? Well, it's tough being a leader, isn't it? Sometimes. Is it? Yeah, because you're always at the forefront trying to convince people, inspire people, sell a message. Do you think it's an easy job?
I think it really depends on your perspective. If you think it's hard, then it will be hard. If you think it's a challenge or an opportunity, then it could be that, right? That's so true. So if you inspire and breed spirit into the minds of people, and in the roles that I've had as a leader, they come up with better things than I know. I don't have to have all the answers. I just have to help guide the ship and lean on people who want to do the role or pick it up and carry it. And if you empower people, they'll walk all over glass and bare feet for you. That's right. Versus trying to pay them to do that, more money. I've had clients say, Phil, when I was coaching, they said, I threw more money at my employees, and I can't believe it. They didn't work any harder. It's not about the money. No, it's not. It's about feeling empowered, right? There's a really good animated video that I think was created about 10 years ago by Daniel Pink, and it's about drive. And it was a study done based on, they tested it at MIT, which is a university in the U.S., and then they also wanted to prove it. If somebody said, well, this is fine in America, but it doesn't apply anywhere else. So they went to India, and the same result happened. And what they found was if you empower people and allow them to have autonomy and a creative process, they'll be creative and work for you for not any more money, but as long as you can allow them to go after their social or their personal consciousness thing that they want to work on. It's an interesting watch. I know. I mean, so I've been a leader for some time. I also pastor a church, and I know what it requires to really be able to inspire the people from time to time to get the job done, even while you're not there. That's really amazing. That's I call it autopilot. Yeah.
you don't need to be there, but they can drive the momentum based on those things that you have put in them. You've inspired them, you've engaged, you've stood with them through their challenges, and it's a continuous process. So now, what are the three things you would say that a leader should do to be able to sell well, even with the pandemic? This ongoing crisis.
Well, that's a deep question. I don't think I drank enough coffee to answer that today.
No, you can do it. You can do it, Phil. Go ahead.
So ask me again 3 things
that a leader can do, to sell well, even with these challenges of the crisis.
Yeah, well, what's worked for me is to be adaptable.
All right.
When you have something like a pandemic, or if it's a financial crunch, like what happened in 2007, was it? In that range where there was a financial...
2008, yeah.
Yeah, right. 2008, right, exactly. So it's really, there's a formula, E plus R equals O. Event plus the response to the event will equal the outcome. And so if you don't like the outcome, change the one or both of the others before it. So as a leader, paying attention to that, I think, is key. One of the keys. The other thing is to be adaptable and flexible. I have this card here that I keep by me. It says, no one cares about you until they know how much you care about them. But the headline is be adaptability.
Adaptability, yes.
I spelled it that with a hyphen on purpose. Yeah. So we want to be able to adapt and use your ability. And if you don't have the ability, learn the ability. And if you don't have learned ability, find somebody who can support you on that. That would be what a leader would do, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing is to give sincere praise at the right time and support it with an example.
Good.
Don't give what's the word I'm thinking of? Don't flatter them. Give them sincere compliments.
Yeah, it should be authentic. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 3 of my favorite words that I strive to live by and live every day is be authentic, progressive, and effective. And I think if you follow that,
wow. Authentic, progressive,
and effective.
Wow. How effective can you be as a leader when you say effective?
Well, I guess if you've set and established some goals and targets to get to, and you measure whether you got there or how close to them you got within the time frame you allocate for it, that would give you the answer to that question, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So what's the third thing then? What's the third thing?
Oh, I thought that was the third thing. Like giving the sincere appreciation is really what it is.
All right. You show that you are on the same page. You really words of affirmation.
Well, it's just like if somebody does a good job, let them know it. Don't take for granted, yeah, they got it. Because that's like, that means you're not really paying attention to them. It doesn't mean that you're Pollyannic around it. I mean, if you need to be a director, and when somebody's not pulling the weight and living up to the expectations that were set when you hired them or brought them up to your group, you need to say, hey, Adobe, I'm surprised with what you're doing. I mean, that's not like you. You're much better than that. I would have expected you to pick up the ball and be on time and do all whatever it was you wanted to fix.
Yeah.
Right? And tell them the future, the ideal future you want them to live in, where you would breed spirit into the minds of people. Is catch them when they're not performing to their potential. Wow. And then paint a picture of where you would like them to be, and then be consistent with that. And then when they've done something right, let them know. You know what? That's just like you. Way to go. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's about leading intentionally. There's a strategy. I went for a customer service training in Minnesota in 2011, and my teacher, the facilitator said to us, there's something called catching someone doing something right.
Yeah.
It's not all the time that you look out for the errors, but intentionally you look out for those things that your team members are doing that is positive, and just affirm them, and sometimes you can even go and ask them why. What gives you the inspiration to do this? And it really brings out the best in your team members.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. If you're just joining us on Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 60th episode, I'll be speaking with my friend from Calgary, that's in Canada, and his name is Phil Joyce. Phil is a top business coach and is showing up massively on this edition of Leadership Talk with Adegoke. Now, I just want to ask you a question. What's the consequence of a leader not having a sales strategy, not being an effective salesperson?
Well, if they're working for a company, or even if it's their own company, a failure, right? And I mean, devastated failure.
Wow.
To be out of business or competition will capture the marketplace.
Wow.
Wouldn't you think?
I know. Yeah. I mean, well, I said, what's the consequence? I mean, apart from failure, what's the implication of that, even on the team morale?
Yeah, I think the consequence is a personal thing for everybody individually. The general brush would be failure, and their business fails, and they're out of business, they're in debt, they can't get out. I mean, it could be devastated.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know the leaders out there that might be tuning into the replay and watching us, and as we speak, what would you like to say to, just off the record, just based on this conversation, what would you like to say to anyone? There's now the new, the new strain of the virus. It's called Omicron, and the world is really doing a reset all over again. What would you like to say to any leader that is in the sales space right now? I mean, that is selling. What would you like to say to just to encourage?
Well, you need to stay true to yourself, true to your mission and why you're doing what you're doing. And if certain pathways to people have been taken away, which is what happened in the early onslaught of the pandemic, COVID. We weren't able to go and see and meet people. Then going back to when I held up that card, what can you do to be adaptable in a situation? Yeah. What can you do to be creative and innovative in the situation? How can you leverage what's out there? Be open, like a parachute works best when you jump out of a plane when it's open. I encourage you to be the same way to possibilities versus one of my mentors is he's since gone a long time ago, but he had an impact on me and a fellow by the name of Bob Proctor, matter of fact.
Awesome.
He knew, Bob and him knew each other quite well. I didn't know Bob then, but what he says, when these types of things happen, they jar your preserves. So when I say jar your preserves, how would you define, what does that mean to you? I'm asking you, what does that mean to you?
Okay, well, it jolts you, takes you, into that mode of making you think outside the box, Yeah.
That's one path. There's another path. And this is where a high percentage of people go. And I saw it with the pandemic when it showed up in 2020. And the other one is to hunker down, batten down the hatches, and hope like heck they survive. And they rely on somebody else to look after them, like the government. Right? But
with all the incentives,
I was being adaptable. I found a group as a result of hanging out with Jeffrey Gitomer. And in that group of Jeffrey Gitomer 959ers, we created a group of about 20 of us, and we called it the Megaminds. And we supported each other throughout that first year, I guess. We'd get together twice a week, once on Monday, once on Friday, talk about what our goals were for the week, what are we doing, and then recapping it at the end of the week. We had a crush and brag session. And we were encouraging each other to leverage technology, video, and audio to get out to our prospects and customers. So what I'm saying to people is, don't hunker down.
Get out there.
Yeah, get out there. Put yourself out there. Be willing to fail. Be willing to take a risk. And be willing to be uncomfortable.
Wow.
Get uncomfortable.
Wow. John, I'm on the John C. Maxwell team. John will tell you that nothing happens in your comfort zone. Everything you're going to achieve in life happens in your strength zone, which is your growth zone. So keep on stretching, keep on digging. Zig Ziglar would say that one of his quotes said, "You can get everything in life that you want if you help enough people get what they want." You know,
And if you take a look at nature, I don't know what grows in your country, but I imagine you have trees and things that we don't have here. But what I've noticed is, if you look at where I live, there's the Rocky Mountains aren't that far away from me, and I've been in them numerous times to get to other parts of the country. And what you'll notice is what happens is, going back to the life force energy, is you'll see a tree growing out of the side of a mountain, and there's no dirt around. And when you take that life force energy and give it fuel, it will grow. So if we do that with people, metaphorically, they will grow too.
Wow.
It's just leveraging what's already there.
Wow, that's so profound.
It's like Bob Proctor. I'm gonna look at one fuzzy. Bob Proctor talks about these things that we're all addicted to. Smartphone.
The phone.
It's always been there. The idea has always been there. We just needed to put them together to make them happen. So when adversity shows up, there's an opportunity there, as Napoleon Hill talks about. Every group has an equal or greater seed of opportunity there. Just have to go find it. And be solution-oriented versus problems-oriented. It's a totally different.
Wow. So it's about a shift in the mindset.
Mm-hmm. For many.
Needs to be a tweak. Yeah. Oh, wow, this is so good. We've done about 25 minutes now. And this is scheduled for 30 minutes. But I'm really having a good time learning from, Phil himself, showing up and adding so much value on Leadership Talk with Adegoke. We're so thankful for your value. Now, we just have two more questions. Now, you had it so much in terms of nuggets. Do you have mentors?
Do I have mentors?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Living and not living. Not living. Napoleon Hill, Lou Tice, Pacific Institute. I have about 4 other mentors. I'm hanging out with Jack Canfield and his organization. I've got business partners that are also mentors. I have a mentor that I meet on a monthly basis. The other ones are more frequently. So do I have a mentor? I have more than one. Yeah,
which is good. I mean, it shows from the depth of answers that you're giving us. This is, and it's so relatable. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. Now, just one more question, or 2 more questions. Yeah. Now, if our listeners want to reach you, how can they reach you? What platforms?
I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. It's called The Business Renovator. You can sort of see it behind me. If you just went look for that on YouTube, you would see that I also run podcasts. My theme of The Business Renovator is about sales, marketing, and mindset. And I've had interesting people on my show. Matter of fact, I have you scheduled in the middle of December to do a recap and talk about things.
Thank you so much.
And then if they just wanted to reach out and find my website, it's real easy. CoachPhil.ca.
.ca. Oh, Coach Phil. Oh, that's so simple. Wow.
I know. I try to keep it easy. The long one I have with the franchise is like, it seems like I can't even fit it on the screen.
You got a great sense of humor. That's so good. Now, finally, would you like to drop, something in 30 seconds to our listeners, just to keep them focused?
Yeah, if you want to learn what's going on and what's trending, not in the world but in your head, journal. Do a reflective thinking journal. Capture the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then go back and visit it weekly and monthly to see what the trends are, and you can find out that conversation you're having in your head is either going to lead you towards something you really, really want, or you're going to recognize that this is a waste of time. I have no interest in doing it. I'm going to stop thinking about it to free up my energy to focus on the things that really matter and I really want to go after. That's what I would say. Reflective journaling.
Reflective journaling. Yeah. I mean, I do that all the time. This is my, I keep on writing. It helps me to stay focused.
Yep.
And and that's the way I've been doing it for about 15 years. So I get results, and sometimes I look back, maybe a year, maybe 2020, 2021, cast my mind back and go through my journal and do some Thanksgiving for the progress made thus far. Wow. So it's now time to put a wrap on this. I've learned so many things from this conversation, and I'm just so thankful for you coming up on Leadership Talk with Adegoke. This is the 60th episode of Leadership Talk with Adegoke, and it's been a fantastic session on leadership and selling. And for those who are going to be joining us, watching the replay, please take notes and just try and implement those things that Phil has shared with us. And so same time, have a great time. Okay, thank you so much, Abiola. She stayed this, Abiola said, great, yes, great content. Yeah, she says, and I'm happy she's, Abiola is, she's a master coach as well. She's an area of emphasis on marriage. She has a book called Essentials of a Successful Marriage, and she's also a coach, like I said, on the John Maxwell team, and she's adding value massively. So thanks for the feedback, Abiola. So same time, have a great day. Phil, would you like to say anything? Would you like to say bye to them?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to share a few ideas with you. And if you ever have a question for Business Coach outside of what you're doing, reach out to me at coachphil.ca.
Okay, thank you so much.